Hey everyone, Carol Freeman, the creator of the 8-week keto diet program, and I'm here today. We're going to be doing a couple things. I'm going to be talking with Mike about his transformation on keto, and at the same time, we're going to be taste testing a lot of different kinds of chicken wings. Terrible, huh? So, well, I already said who you were, but who are you? Introduce yourself.
My name's Mike. I live here in the general Seattle area.
Okay.
And I've been on a ketogenic diet for about 2.5 years or so.
Okay.
And
you got a little smaller in the process?
A little bit. I lost 75 pounds
Wow.
from 230 to about 155 or so.
Wow. Huge transformation. Well, we'll be talking more about that with our mouthful of chicken wings here pretty soon. But who have you got with you?
Oh, and I have my daughter, Mazzy, right here with us.
With her kitty ball, kitty ball. Thank you for coming.
Apparently she doesn't like chicken. She was telling us this whole time she's not going to eat anything. So we'll see if we can
maybe
get her to try.
Maybe I should have had bacon for her.
Bacon?
Yeah.
She's a bacon kind of
With
person.
toddlers, you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, once we start eating it, might want to just join in anyway. So we'll see how she is.
That's
well,
true.
so who the heck are you then?
Who the heck am I?
Introduce yourself.
Language, please.
Sorry.
I'm Kendall.
Okay.
I'm Carol's son. About the same size. A little bigger. No big deal.
Got to go to the gym pretty soon.
Yeah, I need to get out of here quick. I need to eat these pre-workout whole chickens. I'm just gonna eat a whole chicken.
And you've been
Only one?
Yeah. At a time, you know.
Yeah.
The pre-workout, not post-workout.
Some people have protein powder shakes before they go to the gym. You just eat an entire chicken.
I just blend a chicken inside the blender and I just drink it. Yeah, that's where I go. I've been keto for a while too.
Almost a year now.
Almost a year. I've lost like 20 pounds. Nothing like as substantial as 75, but 20 pounds. You know.
Yeah, you've had some pretty amazing other health transformations too.
Yeah, and I mean the best thing is just the bacon. I mean, unfortunately we're eating chicken today. But
Unfortunately, you were on the bacon taste test.
I was. Yeah, you can go back to that video.
If people can't get enough of you,
I think people can get enough of me. I think there's a limit.
You were on the bacon taste test and the mayo taste test.
Mayo taste test.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Mayo taste test was good. Mayo is my favorite pudding, but it's all good.
I guess I should watch the episodes. Have you ever made mayo out of bacon fat?
No, but we should.
Yes, it's amazing.
She's been talking about it a lot because I mean homemade mayo is gonna be a lot better than most store bought.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of bacon grease that needs to be turned into something. So, well, let's start out. Let's eat one of these chicken wings I've got here.
The 365 first. Which one's the 365?
The 365 is that one.
I want to do that one first.
Okay, so a few of these I got at Whole Foods Market, and so one of these is, these were frozen. They were their 365 brand. They have some, like a salty solution that they're injected with before they're frozen, so they may be a little different flavor, but...
so this is the 365 one.
Yeah, so, make sure you smell it first. Smells like...
I'm just like stuffing
chicken?
my face.
This smells like cooked chicken. I'm actually really surprised. It's very traditional smell.
And,
there's optional Frank's hot sauce.
Yeah,
that's not going to be...
You want me to just pour some in there? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we decided we would, for purity, we would taste... Oops. Oh,
What do you-
oh no, I got some on mine.
Literally as you talk about purity.
Purity. Oh, you just want it in there? Sorry.
Yeah,
Well, you can't double dip, right?
What do you mean? I'm just
we
gonna
have company.
I'm just going to one-hit it.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Okay. Oh, I shouldn't wear white pants today.
You are
Oh no.
messing up everything.
For purity, we were going to taste them alone, and then dip them in hot sauce, Frank's Red Hot, if we want. I didn't get any... Do you like blue cheese dressing? I didn't get any of that.
Meh. It's okay.
What do you think?
I'm pretty, it was a really good piece of chicken. I don't really have any complaints. I can't get skin crispy without frying it, so you're doing better than me right there.
Well, I baked them... All of these were baked except the... I actually got some Pizza Hut chicken wings to compare to. So I baked all of these, and then I finished them by broiling them until the skin was a little crispy.
Okay. Did it really smoke up your kitchen, or were you able to
No.
get the temperature low enough to not smoke up the chicken but still crisp? Or not smoke up the house but still crisp the chicken?
Well, I cooked them most of the way done, and then I just put the broiler on high, and I kept setting the timer for 3 minutes, and kept rechecking them until they were just lightly crispy. But no, it didn't smoke it at all.
That
yeah, certainly.
dual stage cooking method.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Just all nice and fancy.
Yeah.
To me, it just tastes like white meat. There's nothing special about that. That is the person that works out all the time. Their go-to I just want chicken meat because I want my protein.
Yeah, you're right. They do. It does kind of taste like white meat. Like it doesn't taste very fatty. Like
It just tastes like meat to me. There's not a lot of flavor to it. It's just you take this, you can season it or whatever. There's nothing. It doesn't taste like there's really anything.
And I just put a little salt on them, but it's just tastes like chicken, not too super fatty or anything.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Well, I'll pass out another one here, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. Let's see.
There's also
that's the 365. Let's go with this one is also from Whole Foods, and they called this their non-GMO. This one was price-wise the one that's torn up there.
This one?
Yeah, I think it was $3.99 a pound.
Yep, $3.99 a pound.
That's inexpensive. We like that. Nancy, do you want to try some chicken?
Like that cheap chicken?
One of the beauties of these higher fat meats is that they're usually the cheapest one, and so
these wings are definitely a lot smaller than the other one. But these ones weren't frozen though, right?
These were fresh. They weren't frozen.
These ones are way better than the last ones, in my opinion.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
There's
the meat
fat
is
on there.
A lot more tender.
Yeah, tender meat, and it tastes more chicken flavored. The other one, you could taste that it was like kind of injected with the flavor.
This definitely tastes like like good meat.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with how fresh it is, not frozen at all. So this is cheap too. You said this is $3.99 a pound.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's one of the great things about the keto diet is you can save money on. You don't have to buy the expensive boneless, skinless chicken breast.
Well, yeah, you'll quickly notice that things are more expensive the less fat they have on them.
Right.
When in reality, I mean, on this diet, if you're just looking for things with fat, right, it's going to be a lot cheaper, so it saves money in the long run.
Well, it's because people were told for a long time that fat was bad, and so then they got to sell. Nobody wanted to buy that, so.
Yeah,
basically, it's protein that's more expensive and fat's super cheap.
Yeah.
Like a
right now.
extra virgin olive oil from Costco. I wonder what that is like. How many pennies per calorie that is, or whatever. Try to think of that kind of ratio.
Yeah.
I bet that's super cheap when you think about it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll have to,
I mean, because one of those jugs has to be what, like 50,000
calories.
calories.
4 million calories.
If you're just looking for calories, there you go. Just
olive oil, you're good to go.
That'll get you for the week.
Yep.
Well, so how did you find ketogenic diet?
It started because I thought that it would be easier to count to 20 for carbs than to count calories.
Okay.
That's literally that's how my brain works. I just figured that would be easier. And
well, certainly, because you've got tens and fingers and toes. It's 20 right there, right?
Right.
20 is a pretty straightforward number, yeah.
And I immediately just had a ton of energy, and I was never really like a runner or anything, but something just told me like get off my butt and just go outside and start running. And so I started running, and then I was trying to find podcasts, and so that's how I found some of like Jimmy Moore's podcasts and stuff like that. And then I just kind of went like way into the keto rabbit hole.
Okay.
From there, and I think I'm gonna like pop out in some other world or at some point.
Some mysterious land, like unknown, known really. Like, it seems like so small, but it's like just this whole big thing.
How did you hear about it first then? Did you have a friend that was doing it or just saw something online?
A really long time ago, I read the Dr. Adkins book.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but
yeah.
And it just made sense.
Okay.
And so when I decided that this is the time for me to lose weight, I just remembered some of the things from that book, and it's pretty easy. Just don't put carbs in your mouth. I mean, like, people can overcomplicate it and make it really hard, but just like don't eat carbs. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So there's one of your big secrets to success. Just make it simple, right?
Don't eat
carbs.
Don't eat carbs.
It's like don't tempt yourself with anything. Like don't. I feel like 20 is like a pretty reasonable number for like most of the food that I eat, but it's like it's easier for me to just like be at like 10 or 5 than it is to kind of like, all right, well, I'm just gonna get my 20 today, like. I just don't eat anything, any carbs, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of like overcomplication when people just start, overthinking stuff too much.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure there's really much difference between 10 and 20 or 30, to be honest, when with probably someone like you who's like super young, probably has like a really fast metabolism.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem. I don't worry about like eating too much, too little. It's just like I just avoid bread and all that things. So I'm pretty lax on it. I mean, I'll like. I guarantee some days I'm up to 30, maybe 40, and I'm not like, I'm not like feeling awful the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
The keto hangover, like I've been told about.
Well, you just end up like, what foods are high fat, low carb, and you just stick with that, and you don't weigh or measure or track anything at all. You never have. You're just like, I stock the house with all the keto foods, and he just
bacon,
eats
eggs,
as much
and,
as he
yeah.
wants.
If I can cook it, it has to fit in the keto, pretty much. Like, if I have to go to the store to buy some bread for a sandwich, I'm not having a sandwich. You know, it's just not how it's going for me. So it's pretty easy for me, at least. I don't have to worry about things.
But it started where I wanted to lose 1 pound for every pound she gained, for a total of 50.
Okay.
And I made it to 75, and she only weighs about 30 pounds.
Okay.
So I kind of smashed that goal, which I'm happy about.
So in the past, did you try any other diets to lose weight, or?
In a prior lifetime, I was a vegetarian, but
Okay.
it wasn't really for like weight loss reasons. I was actually pretty normal weight all through high school, and then after college, getting the desk job, and got really into craft beer. Started making my own beer, and like.
Okay, so this is something we got to talk about. So tell me, so what's it like being a former craft beer maker switching over to keto?
It sucks. It sucks. My doctor is sort of a well-known guy in the keto community, Dr. Ted Naiman, who practices out of here, and I told that to him, and he was like, that sucks.
Because pretty much everything else that you ate before your keto, there's a version of making it, except for beer.
Right. And the low-carb beers out there are awful, too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to have a Michelob. I'd rather just be sober.
It's easier, yeah. She's like, well, darn.
Yeah, it tastes worse than water, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, so then what keeps you motivated to give it up? Because I've had a lot of people ask me, like, what, are you never going to have a beer again? Are you never going to have a sweet potato? Like, I have my own answer to that, but what's your perspective on that?
For what keeps me motivated right now, it's just so much of a lifestyle for me that I don't really have motivation, but I don't really need it. I think that's sort of when it becomes a lifestyle, is when you don't have to stay motivated for it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
See my bowl?
Yeah.
Yes. What color is it?
It's white and green.
White and green, that's right.
Is that in your hair or is that your necklace?
That's the bowl.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I do think it helps to set like little goals and not to think like, what do I want to look like, or what do I want to happen like 5 years down the road, but be like, what can I do this week? What can I do next week? I think that sort of might help newer people.
Yeah. Short-term goals. I think that's great, because that's one of the keys to, if people go into it thinking, fruit fly. If people go into it thinking, like, I can never have bread ever again, like, that feels a little daunting, and then that can make people go, well, I'll do it next week then. But if they just try on this thought of, like, well, I'll just try it for this period of time, that's usually, I find, a lot easier for people to wrap their brain around, like, okay, I'll try it. But the thing is that once they try it, they feel so much better, then they can worry about, like, okay, I don't ever want that again.
Right, absolutely.
It's very instantaneous how much better you feel, I think. So it's like, it's hard to like I feel so good right now. Why would I want to go back on this? Like, maybe in a couple of years, but like right now, it's like, I feel so good. Why would I want to?
Maybe in a couple of years, I want to feel crappy again.
Exactly.
So.
Like, when I'm older, I'll eat some carbs or something.
And with bread, like say like a sandwich, the best part about a sandwich is the meat and vegetables and like the sauce that goes on it. I don't really notice much of a difference. I just have like a lettuce wrap or whatever, and
it's the same thing. It's just it doesn't have the same mouthfeel as bread. But I've eaten bread recently, like a couple weeks ago, and it's like, it just doesn't. Like,
you ate bread?
I was like eating something, and I had a bite, and I was like, ugh. It isn't as good as like it used to be.
The texture.
It's just not like what you remember it as.
That's it. If I walk down the bread aisle in the store, it's like, oh, that smells bad. Like, it's so yeasty and weird.
It smells bad.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not the same. I don't miss it. It's like there's the Oprah commercial. Like she's on like some new like weight loss thing online, and you just see her. She's looking at the camera. She's, I love bread, and it's like talking about how Weight Watchers or whatever, you can eat bread now on their plan. Like,
well, I'm a big fan of different things for different people, and I'm here to advocate a ketogenic diet. But if she can if she can meet her goals eating bread, then I'm happy for her. Like that's totally cool. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's. Well, we won't talk about her anymore.
we're not gonna slam Oprah here.
Well, let's. So these were fresh as well. These are organic chicken wings.
And
these were $4.49 a pound.
Because they're organic, a little bit more expensive.
Would you like one?
They're a little bit bigger, the wings, though, because this is the...
Well, this is the full, like...
This is the full wing. This is...
Yeah, I don't know what you call that, the full wing.
The full wing, yeah.
Whereas normally they take them apart and sell them in 2 different sections.
And then just chop off the other part.
Yeah, so how's this one? I could have crisped the skin a little more, but... Wow.
These ones are really good, too. They remind me of the second one.
Yeah, I think the flavor on these is even better for me, but...
Man, you just want to eat the meat, not the bone.
They seem to have more skin on them, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it's the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
I mean, slightly less processed, obviously, because it's not chopped up. But I think it's very similar.
Oh, I dropped a bone on you. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
I think it could be even like the same meat almost, but if this is organic, the other ones weren't organic.
Right.
Personally, I prefer the other ones just because of ease of eating.
Well, you're not big on picking the meat off the bone, right?
I'm kind of lazy, but these do taste good. I like the other ones a little bit better.
I have to say, my taste buds have changed so much on keto. Like, before keto, I grew up with, low fat, and my taste buds were really attuned to that. I never really liked fat, like the fat on the pork chop or anything like that, or chicken skin I thought was disgusting and gross. And I can say now that I think it's really delicious, and I quite enjoy it.
That wasn't even very long ago. In my lifetime, she was like that when we were, something like, 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
We go to KFC and we get the chicken, order the chicken, and she'd peel off all the skin and give it to me, and I'd eat the skin off, so...
He's always loved fat.
I've loved it. Yeah, I've always been... This has been the easiest diet for me because I've just always been in love with fat, so...
Well, that's good.
I'm very willing to eat the skin off the chicken.
Yeah, well, there's a whole bowl of it there for you.
And that'll be some really good stock as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially since there's no seasoning on it.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously you've lost a lot of weight. What other kind of health improvements have you noticed?
I had really bad acid reflux.
Okay.
That was, besides my daughter being born and just wanting to, get healthy in general, acid reflux was huge for me. And the main drug that people are on for those are proton pump inhibitors. And so many studies have come out just saying that for long-term use, they're just absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And so I knew that, I needed to get off those. And so I've been off of them for a long time. And so I'm really happy that I totally don't have any acid reflux anymore. My blood pressure is really good. Last time I had it checked, it was 102/60, which is
Nice.
pretty good. And, resting heart rate's in, the high 50s right now.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
At night and stuff. And so lipid panel also really good. A lot of times people have high cholesterol when they do a ketogenic diet, but mine seems to be normal, and I wouldn't be too particularly concerned if it was anyway.
Well, yeah, the research is coming out now showing that, well, it's been out there. That
Right.
People are reanalyzing research and realizing that high cholesterol isn't the worry that we thought it was. And
Right, it's more about the details within the lipid panel rather than just the total cholesterol number.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I have high HDL, low triglycerides, and so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, that's typical changes that people see. So we've just been fed a crock of low-fat lies for too long.
Right.
I don't even know if it's intentional lies. It just kind of seems like misconceptions. It's like it just as we evolve, as the society evolves, we just learn more about everything, and it just kind of it's like nutrition kind of. And this is better now. This is better here. This is getting better that way. It's just we'll keep going. I think so.
There's a bunch
Keto
of-
might not even be like the end all be all. It's just like currently
I know.
for
There
what
may
we-
be
for what
something
we
even
know.
better. Who knows?
Right.
Eat only chicken meat for the rest of your life, then you'll live 100 years. Like,
Well, we're going to find some... I know what it is. It's crickets. Cricket flour.
Yes.
Cricket flour is the
most
answer.
sustainable protein out there.
Yeah.
there we go.
Well,
Next episode, you'll have to do
cricket
some.
taste
oh my
test.
gosh. Do they have more than one kind of cricket flour?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
I've
that's
had
awesome.
zero code.
Okay, so in our taste test, we always have to have some not high quality. What would you call it?
Fast food.
fast food style.
Some cheap, easy. Well, actually, not really cheap. This is probably the most expensive one we have.
Well,
here.
yeah. So regular price would be like $7.99 plus
No,
tax.
$7 plus tax for these.
$7 plus tax
For 8 pieces.
For 8 pieces. So these are actually fried, is the way they buy those, or the way they make them at the little store.
So these are deep fried Pizza Hut wings.
Yeah.
Pizza
But-
Hut brand.
Let's do it.
I think it's important to actually show this because a lot of people find a lot of different dietary approaches unapproachable because they think it's too expensive or it's too inconvenient. Oh, that was really juicy. It squirted all over.
No, I
But the thing with a ketogenic diet, because it's so anti-inflammatory, is that you don't have to buy expensive foods. Now, of course, if you can afford organic Wagyu beef, grass-fed, that's going to be the best.
Good stuff.
But if you live someplace where you can't get fancy food, you can't get
Whole
organic
Foods in
stuff,
your area.
you've only got fast food, and that's all that you're used to, is you can totally get most of the benefits on keto just from switching over to getting rid of the carbs. So what do you guys think of the deep-fried Pizza Hut?
Yeah, I hate to say it, they're pretty good though.
So I work at Pizza Hut all the time. Well, not all the time. That's where I'm employed. But so I eat these wings all the time. This is pretty much all I eat at the restaurant because there's nothing. I can't eat pizza, you know. So I eat these all the time. I will eat 16 of these a day, just all the time. I like them.
Well, you used to do
I still do that.
the pizza toppings and put that through and not
Yeah, it's
no
like
crust.
I'll just cook like cheese and meats together through the oven. That's kind of what I'll eat. So it's these wings and it's the pizza meat.
Are people ordering that? Like, are they ordering like toppings only?
Well, we don't sell that. No,
No,
that's,
you
not,
don't.
that's not a thing.
That's
we
not
don't
a
sell,
thing.
We don't sell
That's
that.
an internal thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's the perks.
There's so many ways to keto-fy pizza as well. I like taking just portobello mushrooms and then just putting all pizza toppings on top of it and toss it in the oven for a little while.
That sounds pretty good.
For
yeah.
me, that's a lot easier than these like fancy crusts.
It's kind of like a little mini one. You kind of
Yeah.
get like a nice like bite size. For these wings, though, I must say there's definitely the flavor in there, right? There's like an injection probably. So it's,
Probably they to me taste a lot more flavorful, not chicken flavor, but more flavorful. Like probably some salt and stuff solution they've got inside there. And
so this is not obviously not the wings you would buy and then like season them a bunch and then kind of create your own flavor in here. This is the quick Belly's Pizza.
Yeah.
Just go eat them.
well, and I got them without any sauce. You can get like Frank's hot sauce and stuff like that on
They don't
it.
have Frank's there.
Oh, it's a different
No.
kind. Okay.
No, all of the sauces at Pizza Hut have sugar in them.
Oh,
Yeah.
they do.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Lots of sugar in all the sauces.
Yeah,
Because
doesn't surprise me.
if you're looking to go to Pizza Hut and eat keto with these wings, do not get any of the sauces.
Okay.
You have to get
At least they're not breaded.
the boneless ones are breaded. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty standard. I don't know of any boneless
I think it's
chicken.
hard to,
Yeah. Hey, so former vegetarian. This is a great chance to talk to you about this. That I run into a lot of people when they hear about ketogenic diet, they automatically say, "Oh, that high protein diet."
Right.
What's your response to that?
It's not high protein, it's high fat.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Moderate protein. I have some friends that are vegetarian or vegan, and they say, "Oh yeah, ketogenic diet it's terrible because it's so high protein," and it's. I always tell people that it's actually probably lower protein than what most Americans are eating on a daily basis.
Right. What I tell people is to read the book Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Performance by Volek and Finney.
Yeah.
And they talk about protein recommendations of about 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound of lean body mass,
Yeah.
which is not our total body weight. Our lean body mass is basically our body weight minus fat.
Yeah.
And so for me, that ends up being about I do the 0.8. I'm on the
Okay.
lower end, and that's just because protein's so satiating. It fills me up. If I'm eating 150 grams of protein a day, I'm stuffed, and I don't like that feeling of. But anyway, so I do about 100 grams of protein a day, which is maybe 20% of my caloric intake, something like that. Maybe 25 if
Yeah.
I'm eating less that day.
Yeah. If you go low fat. No. Well, so of all the wings that you've tried, which one's your favorite?
Either number 2 or number 3. I think those were. I
Okay.
couldn't really taste the difference between the two.
Would you like another one?
Sure.
So these were that was the organic, and then this was the non-GMO,
But not organic
semi-free
as well.
range. Yeah.
What's the difference between non-GMO and not organic? I'm just gonna get one of these.
Okay.
I like this one.
So that one was your favorite, was the
Personally,
non-GMO?
I like the non-GMO. It's the cheapest
Okay.
of all the ones we have here. And personally,
Yeah.
best taste. The wings are a little tiny.
Yeah.
Little tiny.
They're mouth size. Mouth size.
This is the one Matthew likes the most.
Okay, the organic one. Me too. So I actually like the flavor of the organic ones best. It had more skin, more chance to have some crispy chicken skin, which I've now discovered I've been missing all my life and threw away or gave it to my son. So that's my favorite. So which one's your least favorite?
The first one probably is the least favorite.
Okay, the frozen one that was injected with some kind of solution.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
really I'm really unhappy about that because with the mayo challenge, 365
Yeah.
mayo was my favorite mayo, and they really did let me down with the wings. I think it can be completely attributed to the fact that it's frozen. I think it just isn't as good quality.
Yeah. Well, like most things, fresh tends to have better flavor than frozen.
Absolutely.
She's really going to town on that one now.
That's good.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
so maybe what do you think your keys to success have been?
So, obviously sticking with it, and I try to give myself a little bit of breaks every now and then. I hesitate to use the word like cheat, but if I'm hanging out with my friends and I decide to have a couple beers or whatever, and that kind of reminds me of that prior time, and I don't feel like I'm on a diet or whatever, and I think that a certain amount of balance is appropriate, and people need to sort of figure out what works for them. I have a couple of really close friends that are also on a ketogenic diet, and they can't deviate at all. It's 100% or 0%, but I can do maybe 90-10, and for me that's sort of long-term sustainable.
What do you mean you can do it and they can't? Is it just symptom-wise, or is it just being able to get back on track? Or
I think it has to do with that's just what works for them. I have a feeling if my friends went off plan that it would just be disaster status.
Okay.
One of them's a diabetic, and
so health reasons, but then I'll just behavioral.
That would be my guess.
Follow through.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, definitely there's variation in what I've heard. Some people can do that occasionally, eat something off plan and be just fine, and other people, like, it's so miserable that they can't get back on track for weeks or months or
Right.
years later. And
I also try to keep things simple because we cook almost all of our own food. We don't do a lot of processed food and whatnot.
not a lot of Pizza Hut wings, right?
Not a lot of Pizza Hut wings, but cooking takes time, and it's work, and it's dishes, and the whole deal. But I kind of like to keep food sort of boring, and save my excitement for like watching HBO or whatever. I try not to think of food as a reward, or a treat. For me, a reward is being able to take my daughter over here and us hang out for a while, or buy some new pants. I'm wearing 32-inch pants right now that don't really fit anymore. That's a reward.
Yeah.
And like food it's just fuel. It's like someone looks and sees a piece of cake and they just think about how bad they want to eat that cake, and that's going to be satisfying for what, 2 minutes, 5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
You could go to the beach and be satisfied for hours.
Yeah. I love that perspective because so many people I know that they're still in that carb addicted or fat storage mode, that because their biology is compelling them to eat all the time, and they're obsessed with food just because that's the way their biology is. They have a hard time even understanding that concept of food is just fuel. It's not something I spend all my time thinking about or fantasizing about these fantastic recipes anymore. So it's hard for people to understand that you can make that switch.
Right.
I think, but it's a really great perspective that food is no longer. I mean, was it ever for you like the center of? Did you spend a lot of time? No.
Not really. Not really. I was never like a sugar addict.
Okay.
So, just ate too much crap. Basically, ate too much crap, drank too much beer.
Okay. Any other tips or secrets to your success?
I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting.
Okay.
I absolutely love it, and
so some people watching may have no idea.
May have no
what
idea
that
what
is.
intermittent fasting
Yeah.
is. Okay, so intermittent fasting is meal timing as opposed to what's actually in your meal, whether it's carbs or fat or protein or whatever. So the sort of basic intermittent fast is you stop eating after dinner, you go to bed, you skip breakfast, you start eating at lunch, and at that point you've probably fasted for about 16 hours. So that's called a 16-8. What I really like is more of like a 24 or like a 22-2. During the week, it's funny, like I'll have 2 dinners. I'll just come home and just like absolutely stuff my face from like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then just be totally done with the day. And that works. It's less dishes, it's less buying food. I get an hour a day back at work. I get to go to the gym on my lunch break. I love working out fasted. I have more energy, get better workouts, and absolutely love intermittent fasting.
Gives you more productivity and better performance.
Right. I would say for anyone who's interested in intermittent fasting, maybe don't do it until you've already been keto adapted for a while. It might make it easier because some people just get way too hungry. So.
Right. Yeah, once you're in that fat adapted state that your body's using its own fat, it's pretty
easier.
simple to do. Much easier than people think, yeah.
And I don't even think about it really. Like it took intermittent fasting for me to realize that food is what makes me hungry. Like if I eat something, then I get hungry later.
Okay.
You know, and it doesn't necessarily even matter if what the macronutrient breakdown. Like food makes me hungry, and so if I just don't eat, then I'm not hungry. Which is weird.
Yeah.
Totally weird.
Yeah. Well, my experience with it too is that I thought that the first time I did it, I would just like gorge myself at the first meal I got to, and I found like I just ate a normal sized meal and I was full and satisfied, and it was the weirdest thing that I thought wasn't going to happen, and it was much easier. It's Dr. Michael Eads has a quote in, I don't know if it's on his blog or his book, that he talks about how most diets are hard in the are easy in the contemplation, but hard in the execution. But intermittent fasting is something that's hard contemplating, but it's easy in the execution.
Oh, right. That makes perfect sense. That's totally true.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah. Well, what are your tips to success?
My tips to success?
Yeah, or your secrets.
My secrets?
Your secrets. What are your secrets?
Well, so I think the easiest thing for me is like, when I was first originally getting on keto, I just didn't buy things that would be like kind of like borderline or anything like that.
Yeah.
If you don't have them in the house, like, you know, you can't like overdo it or something like that, like nuts or whatever, things like that. Things that have a little bit of carbs in there, cream cheese, things like that. It's like, don't buy these things, and then it's a lot easier to avoid them because there's not the temptation of like, you know, easily just going to eat some of that and then kind of go a little bit over on the carbs or whatever. So I think living in this house where there's just no carbs at all is very easy for me to eat no carbs because I'm a little bit lazy. I'm not going to drive to the store and buy some bread. Like, I'm not going to go buy some donut holes. Like,
if there's some veggie frittata that I've made, he'll eat that. If not, he'll just pull out the jar of mayo and some pork rinds or something.
I'm not like, if I don't like what's cooked, I'm not going to go to the store and buy carbs. So my
your secret to success is laziness. Is that what you're saying?
It's honestly the best solution. I think just don't go out of your way.
Have a mom that sets up your house for success for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what's happening with what we're calling laziness is you're taking the decision making out of the process. So when you are forced to make a decision, there's a chance you can screw it up. But if that gets removed, then you're not going to screw it up, and I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I've just been doing for the past year. Is don't give myself the option of doing that or of straying from the path.
So meal planning is something that we do in my family as well a lot, and meal planning plus intermittent fasting, there is no like bad decision that's about to happen because those decisions have already been made.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome perspective. Yeah. Well, and that's, setting up your house where there's nothing. I mean, because there's definitely times over the last year. I mean, I've been keto more than a year with no cheats, but there's definitely been times where I'm like, I'm hungry, and if there might have been something carby in here, I might have had a little bit of it, but the fact that there wasn't any here, I was like, all right, I'm certainly not going to go to the store and buy something, so...
I remember a while ago, for a gift, we were given some chocolates.
Oh, yeah.
I remember we had them in the fridge.
Yeah.
And I swear, every single time I opened the fridge, I would look straight at the chocolates and, So we had to get rid of those. We got rid of them so fast.
I can't remember who we gave them to. We were debating, it's something like that kind of seems like it's not good for anybody. You throw them away, you give them away.
Yeah, they were kind of expensive chocolates, I think, too. And I could not have them in the house. There was the decision thing. Like,
you're right.
I could make that up. I'm kind of hungry. Just get rid of them. Can't have them in the house.
Yeah.
It's too easy to slip up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Halloween's one of those times when candy's always at the house. I just take it to work and then let a bunch of engineers deal with it.
There you go.
So.
We hardly ever get any trick-or-treaters here, and we got some this last year, and I hadn't bought any candy, and so they're at the door, and I'm like looking in my cupboards and my fridge, and I'm like, do I have anything I could give these kids? And I go back and I said, do you guys want a stick of butter? Because really, that's all I've got to give you. Yeah.
A can of tuna.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I just figured they'd egg my house, so I'm sorry.
Don't Don't trick or treat at keto houses. You're not gonna get.
Well, unless you want bacon, like
Right.
come on, like who doesn't like
That,
bacon?
that should be what you do.
Yes,
Yeah, but there's just give bacon out of the door. That would be awesome.
As long as it's not that pre-cooked bacon that we cooked,
Exactly.
we tried.
Awful.
That was
no,
bad.
fresh, organic bacon only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm wrapping up. Anything else you were hoping I would ask, or either tips or perspectives or?
No, not really. I think we pretty much covered it.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, thank you for opening up and sharing. It's nice for you to join us here.
Of course.
Thank you, Mike. I don't normally shake hands. So.
Yeah, I'm covered in grease right now.
Chicken grease?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I'm so glad you were here, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh,
And
thank you for inviting
just-
me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, yeah. And just so much that people can learn, but also just be really inspired by what you've done. And, I'm sure a lot of people are going to really identify with where you were 2.5 years ago and say, wow, okay.
And that's one of my goals is going forward is to inspire. I came up with the number of 10 as I want to change 10 people's lives in the next year. So,
Wow.
so I'm hoping I can do.
Well, hey, if Mike changes your life, comment.
Comment
Below.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
There you go.
If you
Yeah.
like this video, give us a thumbs up too.
Yeah.
But before we close out, do you have a way that people can get in touch with you? Do you have a website, or are you doing a blog or anything?
I have a public Instagram page that I
Okay.
just started about a week ago. It's called Keto My Burrito.
Oh, that's awesome.
No
Okay.
spaces or
Okay.
anything. And then
We'll link that below in the notes
Oh,
too.
that right here. Or
Oh, we'll do that right there?
Right there. It's gonna be right here.
Okay.
The editor's gonna put it right here where my finger
Okay.
is.
the other way to get a hold of me would be there's a Facebook group called Keto Adaptation with about 20,000 people or so,
Yeah.
and I'm one of the admins in that group, and I'm always on there helping people and stuff. So it's a private group, but all you got to do is request to join, and someone will approve, and you're good to go.
Nice, awesome. All right, well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Mazzy, for being here and eating chicken with us.
Can you say bye-bye, Mazzy?
Do you want to
Come over here.
wave bye-bye?
Can you say bye-bye to the camera?
Bye. Thanks for
Bye-bye.
watching, everybody.